and he has spoken and traveled and made appearances all over the world. So we are really, really lucky. And so he's going to share some thoughts with you, and then there'll be a few moments for questions at the end.
You're beaten if you didn't pay your school fees, but which family could afford to pay fees for school when they couldn't buy food? You were beaten if you didn't have books, primers, textbooks, but how could you afford them when you couldn't afford food? And I mean, you were beaten with canes, you were beaten with little clubs, you were beaten, I mean, I had welts on my arms, on my buttocks, but still, I went because I wanted to make my mother happy. And every time I came back with an A, she would ululate, she was ecstatic. And she would tell me that it's worth it, and that someday you will understand why a little education is better than none. And I'm telling you this just to describe what life is for many children. You may never know these children because they live in distant lands, and many of them, incredibly, live in this land. They live in barrios, on reservations, in ghettos. They have to deal with this reality. And all of them are human children, just like you. But for the grace of God, you could be where they are, and you would have to deal with this reality. And I say this to remind you that when you are lucky, because that's all there is, it's luck. You are not the chosen ones or the elect or special in any way. No, human children are the same the world over. It's just that for some inexplicable reason, many human children, all too many, are trapped in hell, and you're living in paradise, relatively speaking. So I just want you to remember that you are extremely lucky. So that when you wake up each morning, count your blessings. Truly, the simple things that you may easily overlook. After I was able to come to the United States, I brought all of my sisters and was able to send all of them to school. But the incredible thing was that when I brought my mother over here, she too wanted to go to school. At age 59, she went back to school because she said, I want to learn to read and write, especially to read my favorite book. And her favorite book that had been her rock throughout her life was the Bible. And her favorite chapter in that Bible, I hope you get a chance to read it because it's also my favorite. It's Corinthians chapter 13. It's about the primacy of love. That there is nothing more important or more powerful than love. And I just want you to remember that each time you think of another human being, whether it's someone in Baltimore or in Ferguson or on a reservation or in a barrio or in the Middle East or in Syria or a refugee, wherever there's a human being who you may never meet, but just remember that because of love, that human being is you. And therefore it's important for you to do something